This is ESPN Esports. My name is Arda Ocal. I am here with CLG Marksman. We are at the Fortnite World Cup at Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York City. Marksman and his partner, Minnesota Wild NHL player JT Brown, competed in the Fortnite Pro-Am, and they took the victory royale in game number 4. Very impressive stuff, especially how the game number 3 went.
It could have been first, you know? There's still 5 places above us. I was hoping for top 5. After the end game, I was like, dude, that's a 22-point game. We're going to be like 30-ish mid-points. That might be good enough for top 5. And then I looked, and I was like, yo, we got top 5. And then he was like, no. Tfue got 5th. We got 6th. I was like, dude, because in game 3, Tfue...
It hurt because Tfue was griefing you in game 3.
Tfue indirectly griefed us in game 3. Because in the Pro-Am, it's a bit different than the full competitions where... You know, you try to play it like a scrim or like a full game, but in reality, a lot of teams that are probably not as strong, you want to kind of find earlier in the match because you want the stuff that they have, so then you're loaded for the end game when you play against the better players that are still alive. So Tfue held us on Storm in game 3, thinking we were kind of a weaker team. They could get the stuff off us, and we were not very weak. We both had 200 health. We had great loadouts. We had okay mats. We were in a decent spot. Just the fact that he had high ground and zone going toward him, but we ended up fighting for probably like 6 minutes. And none of us died. We just wasted all of our health, wasted all of our mats from both teams. It was just a giant waste, and just kind of messed up both our games.
There's definitely a story there on the change between Game 3 and Game 4. But first, I just want to talk about the overall experience at the Pro-Am.
Yeah.
What was it like, and how was JT as a partner?
JT's good. Like especially because I have a lot of friends that have played in the Pro-Am before, and their partners have never played the game. And so I was like, oh man, I wonder who I'm gonna get for this, you know? And then they announced JT, and I was like, okay. Maybe he plays.
Streams Fortnite.
And when I went to his Twitch or his Twitter, it has his Twitch in his bio. I was like, oh, he's gotta play. And I went and I instantly looked at his VODs and started watching back to see how does he play? What does he play usually? I saw him in Champions Division. I was like, oh, dude, he knows what's going on. Sweet. Or we got to be like a really strong duo then, because having 2 people, I think that's what helps Aeroax and Grime out is they both play a fair amount. Aeroax is a great player, but Grime's good too. So getting that luck where your celebrity player has some Fortnite skill versus never playing the game or maybe only playing a couple times on console versus going to the PC switch, it helps out a lot. My partner was on PC. He was in Champions Division. He knew about teamwork. He knew about competitive. So I was happy. I was like, yo, this is going to be great.
What was comms like? Who was leading, and how was JT fitting into the mix there?
Usually, I would lead on the rotation because I kind of knew where we needed to go and where to avoid kind of shots. And typically, I would say in the fights, I would try to, as the pro player on our team, I would try to focus their pro. Okay. As long as I can get rid of their good player, I know JT can pretty much take on any of their celebrity players without a problem. So I focus their good player in almost every situation. And sometimes it worked out. The only times we died, in reality, it was we were out of mats. We landed Junk Junction every game. It was great if you're playing a full scrim game, full pro game. You get a lot of metal, and that's helpful. But we just couldn't get enough materials, and we switched up our strategy in the 4th game.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Game 3, Tfue indirectly griefs you. What are you talking with JT about before game number 4? What strategies are you changing?
We have to get people. We have to eliminate people. We have to get their loot. We have to get mats off them. 2 of our 3 deaths at that point were no material. We ran out of mats. So it was like, all right, if we take out other teams, we get their mats, we'll be good. We might find some better weapons as well. It'll be great. Because a couple of games as well, we're stuck with gray tacks or gray drum shotties, and it's not a combat, not a pump. We're not the best for close-range fights, which is most of Fortnite, especially competitive, close-range box fights. So we had practiced in pubs divot, because I like landing divot. And I was like, all right, well, Bizzle and DMO aren't here. Let's go divot. And we landed the top of divot at the little, kitchen area or whatever it is, the little bar. Nobody landed with us. We had free loot up there. We went down into the divot. The other team ran away. So we just kind of waited to see where zone was and started holding people on edge of storm. Essentially what Tfue did to us, thinking maybe we were a weak group.
Sure.
And we started trying to pick off the weak groups we could find and take all the stuff we could get off of them. And if we couldn't get both of them, we're going to at least focus the celebrity because they're the weaker players. We're like, all right, we'll take out the inexperienced guy, and then we'll let the other guy go.
Well, tell me about late game now, because I know you guys held high ground very well, both of you, basically throughout the entire end game, which led to the victory.
Yeah, we got so Storm. We had a really lucky team wipe, and it was kind of unintentional where we both kind of got damaged by Storm. We came out of Storm. We were about at Loot Lake, and the zone pulled north of Loot Lake, and the team was on the edge wanting to hold us. And I was like, I'm just letting you know, if these guys shoot us, I'm going to ruin their time. At this point, I'm just going to ruin it. It's like if they're going to mess with us, I'm going to mess back. Because I just opened a chest with a grenade launcher in it. And between the 8 grenade launcher shots, I killed both the players off like these crazy bank shots on a back wall. And that team was loaded. They had 1 baller. They had probably like 2,000 mats between them, 6 chug splashes, a slurp juice, a big, 6 minis. They were loaded. So that team kind of helped us get the win. Because from there on, we got to move in. We had enough mats where in the 3,000 mat playlist, not competitive, you can hold high ground and tarp for a long time. So
you were in great shape.
Yeah, at that point, once we had like 3,500, 4,000 mats, we can hold high ground from 5th zone to 7th, 8th, 9th, as long as it's not too far away, and we did. So, yeah.
Well, let's tie a bow on the Fortnite Pro-Am. Would you want JT Brown to be your partner at future Pro-Ams?
Yeah, I think we should. If they invite me.
Yeah.
Invite me.
Assuming they do invite you, then JT will be your partner. Did you guys practice a lot before the Pro-Am?
Probably like 4 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, one day where we were both online. He's like kind of in his warm-up to the hockey season right now, so he's working out a lot. I'm lazy, and I couldn't find time one day. I went fishing instead, so that's my fault. So, but yeah, one day we got like hooked up. We played for like 4 hours and then divot every game. We got like 3 or 4 pub wins. Wasn't bad. And I was like, all right. I hadn't played a Pro-Am before though, so like trying that strategy that we did in Game 4 was a lot different than what I was used to.
So we're recording this as duos is going on, so we're going to focus on solos. To transition there, though, I want to talk about you playing on that stage, having thousands of people in front of you. What was that experience like? It's
way more stressful in a tournament scenario, like because every person out there is a really good player. There's no free elim. Like you can't just walk up and take a fight and not take damage usually. I'm almost always trading a shot for shot, at least with a shotgun fight in some way. It's so hard to just avoid that. So in this, you can kick a fight with a 2v2 team and almost, in a Pro-Am at least, and lose nothing. But in a solo, how many mats, how many minis, how much health is going to have to be given away to earn that point? And yeah, it's a lot more difficult. And honestly, in a lot of the first games I play in, I'm shaking a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, until I'm confident enough, like, all right, I'm good enough to play against these guys. I'm used to my online, my setup, being in their setup and their stage, and, it's like I got to get my confidence back a little bit.
So how much do you think nerves is going to play a factor? We have a lot of competitors here who are 14 years of age, 15. Yeah. They've never experienced anything like this, and you're talking about as someone who is experienced in the scene, seeing this and having a little bit of nerves. How much is that going to affect their game going into solos?
Having a decent first game will help a lot. As long as they can kind of like quell the nerves early. I think Base Soldier and I at TwitchCon, we got 10th there. But I think our first game or our second game, we ended up getting most of our points. And that we didn't really convert on it very well for the following, but it helped me like not be shaky. It helped me kind of be more confident in what we're doing, where we're going, the plays we're making, the rotates we're making. So the people that are inexperienced down there, and I still have a lot of my money on like the guys that are like, land pros at this point. They've been to 3 or 4.
So who are some of the names that you're keeping an eye on?
Like in solos, I'd be looking at Bizzle, Tfue, big land players.
2 top earners, right?
Yeah, 2 top earners, but I've also played against. I can never kill Bizzle. He always kills me in the game, so it drives me nuts. But they're just very, very good players on land. Where Nate Hill as well. Nate Hill's great on land. But so like for the duos, like gosh, I'm honestly, Zayt and Saf are great. I was sad to not see Bizzle and DMO qualify because I've always thought they were like top tier duo team. And I think that kind of came down to like the online qualifier and how it worked. It's way different than what we're used to. So going to the future, either you got to like kind of work around that and learn how to play to that style, or maybe Epic changes it up and you got to learn something new entirely.
Sticking with solos, how about your colleague Som? He is qualified for the Fortnite World Cup in solos, of course. Give us the rundown on Som and how you think he'll do in this tournament.
Som's actually right now at MSG, Madison Square Garden, practicing up in like the 12th floor or something, one of the rooms up there.
In the offices?
Yeah, in the offices right now. We have setups up there for all the people.
A lot of competitors had to travel to Jersey. He just went into the city.
Yeah, no. So, yeah.
The perks of being owned by MSG.
MSG owns CLG. So we have a studio set up there basically with all the computers, or at least 3 or 4. So all the people here that we have signed can play or stream from there. If I wanted to go there and stream, I could do it, but I'm not going to set everything up. But Lino is today. He's from CLG as well. He's playing in duos. Som will be playing in solos tomorrow. And then we have Symmetrical, who's kind of a stand-in in case somebody gets sick or, whatever may happen. But, yeah, he's there. He's not even coming to the event. He hasn't been. I don't think he's been to the event center yet. I was telling him like, hey, if you go there, here's some tips about like making it so your audio is decent, because it's the new stage. You're under the speakers, kind of. They're going outward. You want to make sure you can hear as much as you can in game. I'm trying to give him like the lay of the land and what it feels like before he gets there, and he'll have some practice time the day before. Like they get here a little bit earlier. They have a couple hours of setup, but Salim's like been practicing nonstop. So I hope he does really well. I think he's a great player. He is the oldest,
Yes.
one of the oldest, not the oldest, but we'll see if he can keep up with the people a decade younger than him he's going to be competing against.
It's crazy to think that if you had qualified here this weekend, you would have been by far the oldest
Oh,
competitor.
4 years over the oldest.
Well, one last question for you here. Is it you seem to be in a great mood? You didn't qualify. You're watching this from afar, but you were part of the
Thanks for the
Pro-Am.
reminder.
But yeah, I mean, not to be that
Yeah,
guy.
you weren't good
but
enough,
I'm just,
you know,
no, not
I
even
didn't
that.
play.
It's just more. We know how difficult it is to qualify online.
Yeah.
But just take me through the range of emotions being here, and does it motivate you to continue to qualify for next season and hoping that something like this will be brought forth by Epic Games again?
It depends really on the game itself and how unfun it is for me. Because I've always I created content and did streaming YouTube beforehand to the point where like I can continue that for as long as I want, I guess, or as long as people support what I do, and I enjoy it. So I don't really need to like make my life less enjoyable if the game isn't really fun to play competitively. But if it changes all the time, it changes a lot. If things changed, I think it's for the better and it's more fun. I had a blast playing the Pro-Am. Like winning the final game was like super hype again. I remember doing that at like PAX where I won like my heat of the day. And so I really still am a competitive person. I like to play that way, but I just have to enjoy my time while I do it. So we'll see how it goes.
Would you ever consider commentary?
Yeah, I mean, depends who needs a job.
I say this because I feel like he has commentary in his future, especially in Fortnite. So continued coverage here on ESPN Esports will be available at espn.com/esportsmarksman. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, man. Enjoy the event.